After my divorce, I tried to figure out what I was going to do with my life. I tried consulting, I looked into research, even started a PhD program. And then I even applied to be a pilot. I had never flown a plane before that. I just thought, new chapter, why not? I think being a pilot would be really cool. I have since made peace with the fact that I'm not going to be a pilot, at least not right now. Maybe someday when the kids leave the house. But I tried. And before my divorce, I would have been too embarrassed to try something that public and not go through with it all the way. But after, something has shifted for me. The worst has kind of already happened for me in terms of embarrassment and everybody knowing and something public. And I'm still here. I'm still standing. And that changes what you're willing to risk. Welcome back to Breaking Upward. I'm Rachel Newhouse. Before we get into today's episode, as usual, nothing in this podcast is legal, financial, or therapeutic advice. I'm speaking from my own experience and research. This is not guidance for your specific situation. Please work with licensed professionals who know your case. All right, let's get into it. I am going to give you a permission slip that you didn't ask for. Divorce hands you this permission slip, whether you wanted one or not. Everything is already changing. The structure of your life is already being renegotiated, which means, hear this, the disruption has already happened. The question is just, what do you want to build now? Research on life transitions is really striking on this point. Psychologists who study reinvention find that the people who most successfully navigate major life changes are not the ones who plan for them. They're the ones who stopped waiting to feel ready before acting. The disruption itself creates the opening. You don't have to manufacture courage. You just have to walk through that door that's already open. Here is a phrase that I want you to repeat to yourself. You are not starting over. You are starting from here. All right. We're going to be like little children in kindergarten right now. Say it with me. I am not starting over. I am starting from here. One more time, everybody. I am not starting over. I am starting from here. I really cringe at the framing of starting over. Starting over implies that you've lost everything, and you didn't. You have skills, you have experience, you have relationships, you have things you know about yourself that you could only know by living what you've lived, what you've gone through, something that most people don't fully understand until they've been through it. That's not nothing. That's actually a really big asset. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from here. And here is further along than it looks. The pilot training that I went through, it didn't result in me becoming a pilot, but I learned I could feel completely ridiculous and do it anyway. I flew about 100 hours in small planes and flew a plane completely by myself. How many people can say that? I had stopped letting the possibility of looking foolish stop me, and that is a genuinely useful skill. I could only learn it by trying the thing. So, what does research say about women starting over? There's a few things that might surprise you. Studies on entrepreneurship and career change find that women who divorce in their 30s and 40s show significantly higher rates of entrepreneurship than the general population in the years following. The disruption of divorce, it creates an opening, and some women walk through that into things they never would have tried otherwise. Research also shows that women who felt that their career ambitions were constrained during their marriage, they often report career acceleration in the post-divorce years. I have seen this over and over again. Not because everything suddenly becomes easy. It's because they stop asking permission and they don't have someone else over their head diminishing them either. They stop making themselves smaller. On finances, research also shows that post-divorce financial recovery shows that the first 2 years are typically the hardest, okay? Income and stability improve significantly by years 3 to 5. That is important because it can feel like it's going to last forever. But if you get your financial game together, get your career together, I can't promise it, but for a lot of us, 3 years, 3 to 5 years after your divorce, if you actively invest in the financial recovery, you are going to be more stable financially. The women who do the best are the ones who get honest about their starting point and make deliberate decisions from there rather than waiting for the situation to improve on its own. Now, let's be practical together too. So, what did you give up or give less attention to during your marriage? Because the answer to that question is often where this next thing that you're going to do lives. What did you used to be good at that you stopped doing? What did you want before you got married that you had to put down because of your marriage or due to circumstances? What have you been quietly curious about that you've never let yourself pursue? You don't have to find your passion. Oh my gosh. That framing is really exhausting. People like find your passion. Like, I mean, good if you do, right? Proud of you. But it's kind of exhausting to like put this pressure on like there's like one thing. It's similar to like there's one person in the universe for you. It's like there's one calling and one passion. No. That framing can be exhausting, overwhelming, and it usually produces paralysis rather than action. You just have to find the next interesting thing and follow it far enough to see where it goes. Some of those things, they're going to dead end. That's okay. Some of them are going to open something bigger, and you don't know which ones until you start. And, some of the most interesting and best career moves I have made have been out of things that I didn't necessarily like seek out, but kind of came along the way. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe I could try that out. If that something is applying to be a pilot and flying Cessna 172s over your house with your kids waving up at you, go for it. Try it. Especially the weird thing. The weird thing is where you actually may find out who you are. So, oh lordy, let's talk about being too late as well or too old. I've heard this one so many times. I'm 40, I'm 43, I'm 48, I'm 37, I'm 55. It's too late. I'm too old. No, stop. Too late, too old is a story. It's not a fact. And it almost always comes from fear, not from a genuine assessment of your situation. The women I know who have built the most genuinely interesting second chapters of their lives, they're almost universally women who decided that too late isn't a real category. Not because they had evidence it wasn't, but because they decided and they make the rules about their own lives. That is a decision that you are also allowed to make. Don't buy into the too late or too old story, whether you or someone else is telling it. There are very, very few things in life that you're actually too late for. You can actually be too late to be a CIA agent, but I digress. And I only know that because I was like, maybe I'd be good at that too. It also doesn't hurt to look something up, right? Your 30s aren't too late. Your 40s aren't too late. Neither are your 50s. Wherever you are is where you're starting from. And that's enough. Try it. Even the pilot thing. Even if it doesn't work out. Because what you learn about yourself by trying is worth more than what you learn by staying safe. In our next episode, we're going to talk about what breaking upward actually means and what I'm trying to build here. Not just as a name, but as a direction. I will see you then. If this resonated with you or you think it will with someone you know, share it with someone who needs to hear it. I'm Rachel. This is Breaking Upward. I'll see you next week.
This is your reminder from me and Alice that breaking upward is not legal, financial, or therapeutic advice. Please seek out a professional for your specific situation.